to number 19 of the Digital Homicides stream discussion thingy. Let me turn this off here. Okay, as always, I'm not alone here. I'm joined by Lothar, and I'm basically the passenger today, and Lothar is the driver. Today is culture and history in games, and yeah, let me get Lothar here, and then we're gonna start. Hi, Lothar.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Now look at this. Look at that professional studio. We're sitting right next to each other. Finally, we finally met.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Hey, hi. So yeah, we're talking about Russian history. Today's history lesson. So everybody,
Mostly history lesson, so yeah, it's just ended up like this.
sit
Ah,
sit back and learn.
I don't know, I always like history, so maybe somebody will find it fascinating at least.
Oh yeah, I
Who
mean,
knows?
there is no future when there's no history, and future is history of tomorrow, you know.
Yeah,
So,
so let's start with disclaimers. First of all, because we're going to talk about history, I'm going to talk about history that I learned, and that basically Soviet history. Well, in a way that it was talk to me in kind of still Soviet, really Soviet-centric way. Second thing, because it's kind of important. There is a two theories of how Russia came to existence. First theory is Norman theory, and the second is anti-Normandic theory. I am with Norman, Normanian theory. Freaking hell. So I'm not going to even mention anti-Normanism.
I have no idea.
Uh,
So,
I just need to get this out of the way because somebody might be questioning it or not questioning it. So, and the last thing is, this topic is freaking huge. Even though that we are going to talk something like by default 2 or 3 hours, it's just a fraction of what we can talk actually.
yeah, that's true. I mean, history is. I mean, where do you start and where do you end? So,
Yep. And basically, if we're going to talk only about ancient Russia, it can be like, I don't know, 20 or 50, 50 hours of content if I'll actually get into it
yeah, it's the same with
with books, researches, and all.
it's the same with German or Germanic or European history, and if you just take the Dark Ages, if you just take that, you can fill hours and hours of content. I mean, so much stuff
Yep.
happened in that time. In
Look at freaking Scandinavia at least. Where did those freaking Vikings go? All over the world.
yeah, it's the same. If you just take Vikings, I mean, we could that wouldn't fit in one stream. I mean, so yeah, it's just a
Yep.
fraction. We can just cover a fraction, and it's not like every single game that comes out um, depicts real history. I mean, they're often inspired by stuff, and they sometimes have real time, or not real time, realistic situations or whatnot. Um, but yeah, games are games, so they only give you a direction or an idea or the theme where it starts and plays, but what you do there is basically up to the player. Depends on the game,
Yeah,
but
but there is one thing that I can't forgive a game. If game claims to be historical, and when you starting to look into history, the only thing you can say, wait the fucking minute, what the fuck am I just saw?
yeah, if it says inspired by history, that's one thing, but if it says um how do you, I'm looking for one word. I'm
Historical, basically.
yeah, if it's historically accurate, for example, if it says something like that, yeah, then that's a whole different story if it is not.
I'm going to butcher a quote from one smart man, and only in the end of my speech I will say who that smart man was. Uh,
Well, butcher away.
well, when he talked, he basically mentioned the movies because video games didn't exist back then.
Mm.
He was for an idea to getting historical material as accurate to history as possible. So people would be not just looking at the good looking pictures, but also getting a little bit educated. So you're looking at the movie, you have a free time, a good time. You like this movie, you like history, you like the story, you like the scene, you like actors, you like all. And then you open now up the history book and like, wow, that's exactly how it's depicted in here.
Mm.
And that was Lenin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So basically, why don't show people how it used to be? Why don't show them what people used to, how they used to talk, at least in a way that modern people will understand it's talking,
Mm.
and something like that.
Yeah,
And I
I
think we get already a little bit off. So
distracted.
let's get to my favorite example of a good story, but at the same time, awful, awful script. Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right, it's open in the background.
Yep. So I definitely like Red Dead Redemption 2 in a lot of way, and it's something that Rockstar made as realistic as possible. Yeah, it have a lot of shenanigans, and it happened in definitely not real states, but still, it has a lot of realistic aspects in it.
Mm.
But as I said, it's definitely one of the worst story written about 20th century. Well, end of 19th century and start of 20th century. This story is definitely depicted as from the perspective of a person from 21st century. A lot of things that is matter for man or woman from 21st century was not on a radar for a person from 20th century. I don't know. It's not depicting a lot of class tension that used to be during this time. It's not depicting how people reacted to the war. You basically have two veterans from Civil War. One is North veteran and one is South veteran.
Mm.
And people ignore them both the same way. Nobody throws a stone into South veteran. Nobody drop a coin or give a beer to North veteran. Nothing like that.
So like nothing happened just a few years ago, basically.
Yep, and again, people react exactly the same on the South veteran and on the North veteran.
Mm. Yeah, which is kind of weird. They should react different to both sides.
Yes, and again, South veteran exists in the state where the band of outlaws that have a lot of South veterans exist.
Mm.
South veteran live in a town that terrorized by bandits that used to be as South soldiers. And he just lived there.
Yeah, I didn't. I
No
didn't.
tension, nothing.
I did play Red Dead Redemption 1 for a few hours, not that much because I only have it on my Xbox, which is not at my home. And the second
Mhm.
one, yeah, I want to get, but I didn't play it, so cannot
Right,
say.
and I see a freaking purple screen.
You see a purple stream? Wait, what?
Yep,
Well, then you should refresh because I have no
I
purple
did
stream.
it. Give me a sec, I'll try it
Looks
again.
good. Looks
And
good on my end.
okay, it's back. So, yep, okay. And again, that's really that's something that getting me off of the story. How people should react. It's not depicted, but this game. People, even in Saint Denis, and it's basically people with a lot of Europeans, doesn't have even a mention about stuff that happened in Europe.
Yeah, the problem
Nothing
is,
about tension between Prussia, nothing about between Prussia and Austria and allies, nothing about Russia being on the urge of civil war, nothing at all. Not mention of a freaking car, nothing.
yeah, I guess you have to maybe draw a line somewhere what you put in the game and what you don't put in the game.
Yeah, okay, I get it, but again, not even a mention of a car. And you have a freaking cinema theater in every city.
Yeah, but what year is it actually? 1899.
1899 and 1901 or oh 02.
What
I
what
don't remember.
when was the first car? 1850? Was it 1850 or something? 1830? Not sure. It was Benz. I know that. I worked for that company. Damn it.
1885.
1880. Oh, 1885. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
the thing is,
cars actually exist.
yeah, 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 true, but they were so limited, and it was in Europe and not in the States. So it took Ford. Was it Ford who built the? Yeah, Ford was the first car, right?
Maybe
And that took way longer. That was in the 20th century, I think.
1906.
Yeah, see, so
No, no.
And there was no way.
1903.
Yeah, so there was no real way, I think, back then to get the information from cars driving around on the European continent. You know what I mean? So,
Well, maybe in a way. It's still something like, hey, there's a carriage without horses.
hey, they were still riding horses and driving steam trains while we already were driving cars, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't had
Oh, but
Wild West over
we didn't
here.
have for a long time.
Yeah, we had no Wild West over here. We had the freaking Dark Ages with knights and swords and shit. And then we kinda stopped it, and it was more like duel in the morning.
And the old was so loud.
Yeah, so alright, moving on. That was
Again, if we're talking about if we continue talking about stuff that I don't understand, I already mentioned class tension. Can you show us a portrait of a man who wrote a little book named Das Kapital?
yeah, yeah, but that's also not really related to the Wild West. But
It's
showing
related.
yeah, really?
Yep, workers everywhere at least heard about this thing. You can see in Victoria Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, but
Actually,
that's
yeah, I should mention it in a little bit different way. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it basically depicted a man, not one man, but a group of men, whose whose solely work was to beat workers into working, not spending a lot of time socializing with each other, and not and preventing them from any kind of talks about raising salaries and cutting short the working day.
mm,
It used to be basically a common thing across Europe and America.
yeah, but that's also 20th century, right?
And it's never get away
Yeah, but
until one red boom.
yeah, no, but we were talking about Red Dead Redemption, right? Or are we?
Yep, and that's basically what I'm mentioning. You can see that at least any sort of man that looked like any sort of enforcer. And the workers like, yeah, good day to you, sir. I'm a honest American worker. I'm not oppressed, and I'm really glad with my life.
Yeah, but if you would show the game realistically today, you would have the how do you say that? I mean, there would be nothing wrong about the female hate against the game because it's not like women were treated like they're treated today. So I don't know
No,
how
well,
much.
they not. Uh, they basically did in Red Dead Redemption 2 the way which I'm kind of. Well, it's shown in a way. We don't have as much rights of man. That's all.
Yeah, and it was definitely less back then than just that.
Yep. They mentioned it. They didn't put much attention to it, and they at least mention it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to show exactly how bad it was back then. So
Hey, you actually should not. I don't say they should just show 12 hours working day of work, just be like, hey, hey, good son, it's a nice day, and work will be like, get the fuck out of here with your nice day.
Yeah, that's where something like Call of Duty is much more extreme, depicting a real war horror when it comes to, I don't know, killing children or something like that. So mm, it there's a lot of controversy about or around those scenes and stuff, but yeah, they do work. They are effective the way they depict it, and it's not like they are realistic things like stuff that actually happened, but yeah, things like that do happen. Not exactly what you
Yep,
see and play, but stuff like that happens, and torture and stuff like that. So if a game, and when I play a World War II shooter or something like that, and it's done in quotes the right way, so um, where you really feel like shit, I don't know. Um, if you still want to go to war after playing games like that when they're done the right way, yeah, then yeah, enjoy. It's nah, I would never. I'm not a fan of war, so no, I would protect myself and my friends and family, but going to war for hey, if the political heads of a country want to fight each other, hey, meet on the border, put a ring there, leader of one side, leader of the other side, fight it out, and who wins, I don't know, gets something. But
that's not the way to get a profit from a war industry.
yeah,
You
I,
need a
I
massive
know.
army to do that.
Yeah, I know. But that would be the cool and right way. All the politicians and
Yep,
generals and everything go into a ring, cage fight, or I don't know, Colosseum, like gladiators. Everybody pick your
and
weapon.
Putin have a black belt.
Yeah. Hey, go in there, or like Mad Max Thunderdome, two go in, one comes out, and yeah, I mean, one country is free of stupid politicians and the other country wins. So yay. And nobody in the country would say, "Oh, we had to lose millions of our friends and family and still lost the war." I mean, yeah,
Yeah, we just lost one basically useless politic and lost the war.
All right. Anyway, moving on. We're already 25 minutes in.
Great start.
Yeah.
So we already started with the third topic, so let's just go a little bit into the cultural side of things. And as as much as I do like Witcher, when I started to look at things, yeah, I do realize why CD Projekt did what they did, but it's a little bit not how it's supposed to be. I think it's this one. Yep, this one.
All right.
Because I have a stream delay. Tell me when it's actually appearing.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
So, okay. As I said, let's start. God damn it. It's right behind you.
Yeah, I want to.
Yep, okay. Okay, let's start with The Witcher. Um, I think you know who it is. That's how Witcher game depicted Leshy. Basically, a forest spirit who has crowns and wolf minions who have totems and stuff like that, and who will kill anyone who will get into his domain disrupt his totem or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's definitely how Leshy is. And as with ancient Greek mythos, it's not the only way to talk about Leshy. And Leshy depiction actually really vary from vary. It's different from region to region.
Mm.
But most of them has one thing one thing in common. Minion animal minions live in the forest and basically a forest spirit.
Mm.
He's not particularly an evil spirit. He will steal kids, but only those kids who has no father and whom mother was cursing when she giving a birth to the child. She basically cursed the child.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah, literally.
no mother would ever curse like "God damn it! Ah!" and scream in pain and stuff while giving
Yep,
birth. That never happens.
yep. So yeah, that part was not included in Witcher game. I don't think that I will read in Bestiary of a Witcher game. But yeah, again, I understand why CD Projekt Red put that look on it and pick another picture that I'm showing now. Pick that look that it's basically obviously a vengeful spirit with a hunting ground that will hunt you down no matter what, and not a some kind of a green skin monstrosity with red eyes, green blood, who mostly pranks people and stealing cursed children.
Hmm.
Yes,
Looks a bit like Bigfoot's brother or uncle or something.
yeah, a little bit, but not less hairy.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like how Leshy depicted in the Witcher game, but it's not the only way to depict the Leshy, and it's definitely not a vengeful spirit.
Yeah, this one looks cool.
And
It's this one.
sometimes he even depicted as a positive character because he can put you out of the forest if you get lost in it.
Yeah,
Well,
this.
you need to do some shenanigans like winning a card game, or else you'll be stuck in the
Okay.
forest forever. But still,
Okay. Yeah,
he's a little bit of a prankster.
yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to say this guy looks relatively okay. I mean, he got a squirrel on top and a birdie and
Already a lot less demonic that CD Projekt him.
yeah, let me show like this. Was a bit cut off. Okay, let me grab another one. You had another one, I think, right?
Yep, and another one is basically how CD Projekt depicted him. Uh, There is a link.
Oh, this one.
You can pick this one. It has pictures in it.
Ooh, pictures! Okay.
Sometimes she depicted a no, call this forest king. Well, he is the spirit of the forest. Leshy is the forest. So it's kinda
This
it's kinda accurate.
this is kinda what I would expect him to be a little bit with all enemies around and stuff.
Uh, Maybe, but maybe not. As I told you, it's basically like an ancient Greece.
This
You
reminds
have
me.
a dozens of interpretations of how this particular mythos should be interpreted, and people from one province used to be like, "Hey, actually, he's a good guy," while the people in another province like, "He stole our children."
Yeah, okay. But this guy kinda reminds me of an enemy from a game that just came out lately with Vikings, Viking theme.
Hell,
Yeah, Valheim.
well, let's just say that Russia culture might have a little bit more than random Viking influence.
Mm, all
And
right.
it's basically a modern art. People drawing stuff as they see it right now, based on their imaginations.
Mm.
Not like it's an ancient. We have a lot of ancient depiction of Aleshi, thanks Christianity,
There are no pictures
that
of him?
can be interpreted. Yeah,
Nobody took a Polaroid or something? Come on.
I'm going to tell you even something that a lot more shocking. Nobody even took a freaking painting board from Blesher and said to him, "Don't you dare to move, motherfucker,"
Yeah. Stay
and paint his portrait.
stay right there like this.
Yep,
Or can I take a
well, he's,
can I take a selfie with you?
well, he's the first king, and every king should have a portrait.
Yeah, true.
Yep. Uh, the I didn't took the whole bestiary. I just took seven animal monsters. So yeah, it was like who I can find the info about in really rushed way, because you know how it hit me that I definitely should talk about visually. Uh, there was an example of how CD Projekt took basically not that vengeful spirit and turn it where it is, this one.
Okay, yeah.
Yep,
Okay, you
this
tell me
one.
when you decided. This one?
This one.
Okay, okay, yeah, because I was
When
already
they took
I was already copying one in between there, and then I saw you click that one and the other one, and what the heck? Which one now?
again, that is one of the instances when CD Projekt Red took not so much of a evil spirits and turn them into full-fledged man-eaters. Uh, God damn it, I should have looked for the names. Well, basically, woman. with ghosts, and I think called something like Midday or something like that, and the other is Midnight. I definitely should have looked into the English names. Basically, uh, anyway, I'm using Russian names, so what the hell. Полуденница и полночница. Полуденница mid one that from midday, and полночница is one from midnight.
Mm.
Полуденница is definitely one of those spirits that a lot more harmless than is her counterpart. How it's depicted in the Witcher game. In the Witcher game, Paladinsa is a corpse of a woman, most likely a bride, or most likely a bride that used to be killed in a brutal manner, and who was not buried in a proper way. Should I tell you that it's a little bit not like that? Like a tiny little bit. Paladinsa is not a ghost. She's a spirit. She's a spirit of a field. She never was alive. She always used to be a spirit. And she's basically a representation of don't work at midday. Sun is too hot.
Mm.
And yeah, she's just one of those spirits that make shenanigans. If if you're going to be working in the midday, she's gonna harm you. Well, basically, you're going to have a heat stroke if you're going to tell in modern manners what a person would get for working in midday. But it's basically her working. She did it.
And
She
then
gave you a heat stroke.
yeah, while you're dying on the
Whatever.
on the ground, she's like, oh, "It's a prank, bro."
Not really. She's
Oh.
like, you should not have worked this time, you motherfucker.
Stop working. Take a break,
Yep.
you sucker.
No working during the midday, no sleeping during the midday. Again, heat stroke.
Yeah.
At least do it in the shadow or something like that.
Mm.
And if she'll find a girl, she will dance with that girl till the evening. I don't know why this even exists. It's just working that way.
Okay. I don't know. But nice paintings.
Yeah, again, it's a modern art. And when we're talking about Polish, it's the midnight one. Uh, pick, pick that picture.
So that's another depiction of the left one.
Yep,
Okay. Okay.
she she is a vengeful spirit, and out of the bestiary that we looked at, she is the person. She is the spirit who actually do harm to people, but not in the way that it's depicted in the Witcher game.
Mm.
Again, in the Witcher game, it's basically the same as the Midday,
Okay.
a spirit of a woman who was brutally killed.
Mm.
But it it's a little bit different, like a lot.
She looks more like a witch or
Midnight.
something.
She is. The midnight one is actually. What was the word? She is a spirit of a old witch who died, and let me build the sense in my head. She is a spirit of an old witch who didn't have children, and when she died, she wasn't beheaded, or get stick into her chest.
Okay. Ouch.
Yep. Try to guess what the spirit is doing.
Stealing children.
She can steal children. Um, it's a complicated little bit. Mostly, what this spirit is do, she's. Um, give me a second. I need to know the word. She's pinching the children who already are sleeping in their beds.
Mm-hmm.
She making them scream, and she basically. Well, when your children screaming at night and not sleeping, that's basically her doing.
Ah, okay. So that's why she
She,
got those claw-like fingers.
yep, she basically is stealing the sleep from the children and their parents.
Okay, that reminds me a bit of, oh, what was that? Monster Inc. The animated movie where they come out of the closet and make children scream at night, and every scream generates energy for their world. So she's kind of feeding from screams and fear and something like that.
Who knows? She's just doing that. Again, if we're going to talk about Russian mythos, again, I already said that thanks to the church, we have we lost a lot about our mythos. All we know that she is pinching children.
Okay.
She can steal children, but this child should be cursed by its own mother when while she was giving the birth.
Mm.
You kind of see a parallel here, don't we?
Yeah.
Ah. So when she's stealing child, she not just killing it. She's stealing it and she raising it. And the child that think that she leaving her behind instead of a child could be anything. It could be a doll. It could be a freaking stick
Mm.
and whatnot. But parents will see that thing as their own child. And they're also, again, might be related to origin. They're also telling that child can grow, even one that she put in, but the child will be sickly and again not sleeping well.
Mm.
And the only way to get your good child back, especially well, basically a child that's not sickly and whatnot, is to uncurse your own child. Don't ask me how. I didn't actually read those things.
Come on.
Uncurse your, yeah, uncurse your own child, and then your child will return to you. That way she did not kill children that she steal.
isn't that weird? What people back in the day came up with to explain stuff or made children behave a certain way, like I don't know, don't do something because the boogeyman is coming for you, or you know.
Yeah, I know. And so far, mythos that I told you, it's not about. It's not for children. It's for parents.
Mm,
Like working in the field. Yeah, it's definitely for grown-ups. Why your child not sleeping at night? Yep, it's again for adults.
mm,
Don't leave your children next to the forest, or she might take it.
mm.
So far, it's for adults.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like, hey, don't go into that forest or you will fucking die. It's don't go into that forest or motherfucker will steal you from me.
Yeah,
Old
yeah,
myths are strange. Uh, I I didn't get the picture for the next one, but yeah. Uh, and again, it's not like CD Projekt did everything the way this is going to fit the gameplay. It's not like you can't look at stuff and be like, "Yep, that's how I understand. That's how it actually was." Specifically in The Witcher 3, there is a holiday named Dyadi,
hmm
and that's basically it. I can't tell anything about this holiday because, again, thanks to the church. In Russian culture, this holiday exists only as one mention in one monastery book when they claim that Dyady, Otsi, and I don't remember the one. Well, basically the celebrations when we used to say our goodbyes to the dead, that those holidays are demonic one,
mm.
and we should not celebrate them. That's the only depiction that we have in Russian history about those holidays. And I can't call CD Projekt depiction as something that they came up with,
But isn't
because even though Poland is a Catholic country, they have a lot more of Slavic mythos stored than the same Russian.
mm,
So yeah, basically, I'm more than willing to believe that the way they depicted a holiday in The Witcher 3 is might be more or less accurate representation of this holiday, when a bunch of people gathered around and mm, priest shaman would summon spirits of the dead one, and people will be giving them gifts and whatnot.
Mm.
Mm, and even if just in names, a lot of those. Okay, for Witcher it's monsters. A lot of those spirits, people got used to them because of Witcher. Even though Sapkowski himself not seeing Witcher as Slavic fantasy, Witcher is definitely Slavic fantasy because it has Slavic culture in it. It has at least name of Slavic mythos in it.
Mm. Yeah, it's something I have no idea about because that's one or was it the first game that basically brought um Eastern Eastern European or yeah Eastern European folklore and stories to the to Western audience basically.
It might be not first, but it definitely the biggest one.
Mm. It's one of the one of it's basically the only game that I know that depicts something like that. So
Yeah. And speaking of Slavic history, Slavic culture, I cannot not cast a stone into the Netflix Witcher series.
why?
Because it's not like they even care about what's depicted in The Witcher. They don't interesting in getting Slavic mythos and putting it on the screen. They're interested in competing with Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones is more or less European fantasy.
Mm.
Why
And
would we put a Slavic mythos, basically a exotic culture to people? Why would we try to show something that fresh and new for our audience? Let's just show them something that they already saw.
yeah, well, a lot of things. I mean, okay, the Witcher is based on a book, so it's already kinda a licensed game. But if you make a game from a book and then a movie not from the book, but mostly for the audience of the game, so I don't yeah I didn't read the books, so uh, I would only have the games to compare it to, and I didn't watch the Netflix show, and I forgot that I had only one day left to watch something on Netflix anyway.
I'm not blaming you. And something that I definitely wanna throw a stone at Netflix. This is depiction of Gold Dragon in Netflix series.
Yeah, okay. And the other one is
Uh,
what it's based on?
the other one is depiction of a gold dragon in po- Poland's TV series.
Okay, that looks more like Godzilla. Godzilla with wings.
The problem is with Dragon from Poland TV series. Poland TV series has dragon, while Netflix TV series shown a freaking wyvern.
Mm,
In Witcher Bestiary, I don't remember. It's something in the third game or first game.
Oh no,
Well, dragon has fully developed limbs. It doesn't have limbs combined with wings. And it's said in the Witcher.
hmm, okay. But a wyvern isn't a wyvern those the long ones? You know,
They,
like the Chinese dogs basically. They always show when they do those dance and stuff. You know those.
no, it's Chinese dragon.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, but I mean, there's something.
No, Wyverns is draconic that has front limbs combined with the wings,
Ah,
long neck, and small in the size. And
hmm,
that is little piece of shit, definitely small in the size.
yeah, yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah, yeah, not a dragon, definitely not.
Okay, so and the last thing about Slavic culture before I'm basically going to drop into the history. Uh, on Slavic culture, specifically on Russian Slavic culture, there was a big influence of Orthodox Church. Uh, for example, even today, if in church, if dog will run into the church must be baptized again. You will not guess the reason why.
Hmm, should I even try?
Try it.
Yeah, nah, I don't know. Because he's walking
And
on un unclean grounds or something. I don't know.
no, because the dog is a servant of a death goddess.
Ah,
Yeah, I found some kind of necromancy. Let's say ritual, and it's depicted, and it had dogs in this thing. And the only description why dogs even in this thing, it's because dogs are servants of goddess of death. In if we're talking about depiction of dogs, a little bit after the Orthodox Church became a Russian Orthodox Church, dogs, because of that connection, became depiction of imps.
aha, okay.
So yeah, basically when dog came run into the church, it's not a guarantee that it was actually a dog. It might be an imp that looked like a dog. Therefore, church can be used before you baptize it again.
Church, yeah, totally logic all the way. Hey,
Hey,
I don't know. Therefore, God.
yep. Oh yeah, I did remember one thing that I wanted to also talk about. In the Witcher game, there are also creatures that known as Valkalak. I don't know if they were used to be called as werewolves in English translation, but yeah, Valkalak in Witcher game is basically a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what should I say now? It's a little bit not like that. First of all, Valkalak turning into the beast by his own will and not because of a full moon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Valkalak can't control his transformation only during the eclipse. Valkalak has his mind at clear. He can be, he can act like an animal, but he's definitely not like a werewolf running and killing everything in blood rage.
Mm.
And Valkalak, no, two things. Volkalak has basically the same limbs as humans, so no dog
Pause.
likes
No pause.
dog like paws and dog like sneeze,
Mm.
and Volkalak can be killed really easily because it's basically a man that look like an animal.
Mm.
The problem is, if you not behead him and not or not put a stick into his chest, he will return as a ghoul.
All right. Always make sure.
Yep. And I'm basically questioning why a lot of evil spirits and supernatural should be either beheaded and or with a stick in the head, in the chest. It's basically common between Europe and here.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's and if you really want to make sure, make it something out of silver.
Yep.
Just to be sure. Just to be sure. And
Uh,
dip it in holy water as well, maybe. Ca-
who needs holy water?
can't hurt. I mean, maybe it's a religious creature you're fighting. I mean, you could bath me in holy water and I wouldn't care. Or cross. I'm a vampire that who doesn't care about the cross or silver. I'm actually wearing silver jewelry, so come at me. Yeah, never mind. Garlic, yeah, garlic gets me.
It's not gets me. So anyway, because before not only Volkalak exists in Russian mythos, it's also contain Kotalak is how should I put it lightly? It's a cat-like fury. Basically the same thing as Volkalak, but only a cat.
Hmm.
And how should I pronounce that? Oh, the Berlak. Same thing, but the bear.
Okay.
And fun fact: did you know that the Russian name of a bear, Медведь, is basically not a name of the creature, basically an associated name.
Hmm.
Bears used to be a holy animals or something like that. A fleshed, yeah, fully fleshed depiction of the owner of the forest.
Hmm.
And it's basically like in ancient Jewish religion scripts when you you can't put the name of a god on the paper. You should use an associated name. That's why in Holy Bible and whatnot, it said either Lord or just a God.
Mm-hmm.
It's not contain the name of the god.
Okay.
So basically, Medved is also an associated name, but the original name of the creature is kinda lost.
I wonder why.
Yeah, thank you, Church.
Hmm. Ah. Again. Well, didn't the
Yeah,
church do a lot of nice things in the last few centuries and years?
well, it's basically was a cultural war. So we just destroyed the idols of those. What the name? I'm going to say barbarians. We just destroyed those idols of those freaking pagans, but they still pray to their gods. We must tell them that everything that they believe is satanic.
Yeah.
Works every time. They're still not alone in the church.
I don't know, therefore God. They believe in another God, therefore Satan.
Yep. Uh,
We got that figured out.
they, yeah.
All right.
Uh,
We do have a
and for
script,
the time, eh,
and I don't
it's
understand half of it. Just saying, just mentioning for the viewers, half of the script is in a language I cannot read. His
Aye.
language.
So let's go with history, shall we?
Sure. I heard that's
And
kind of.
then I'm going to talk about uh, culture a little bit more down the script. But right now, let's go just go into the history. Uh,
It's this
okay.
game. Ah.
Yep. Ancestors Legacy, the game that kinda depicted as historical. The game has several campaigns: Nordic campaign, Germanic campaign, Slavic campaign, and Saracen campaign. Did I say that even the right way? Saracens campaign. I was really close. And it's basically about the early Middle Ages, the end of Dark Times.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Roman Empire already at the place, Vikings invasions. They're not as common as they used to be, but they still have place. And some Arabic tribes conquered partially Spain. So I'm going to tell the history how it's told in Ancestors Legacy. And let me get my. Uh-huh. So, what we have in Ancestors Legacy in Nordic campaign, we basically have a history of creation of Russian as about creation Russia as a country at all. Uh, we have a history like two Slavic tribes get a Scandinavian tribe out of city Ladoga, right now known as Old Ladoga. Those Slavic tribes couldn't get along, and leader of one of the Slavic tribes decided, you know what? Fuck those assholes. and he sent for a little bit of a reinforcement to Scandinavians. From Scandinavia became people, specifically three brothers and their men. Those three brothers with fire and blood conquered the land, and that's how Russian land came to be. And when oldest brother, no, wait, when the middle brother Rurik wasn't didn't sacrifice his firstborn son to the Odin, he just laid and died.
Okay.
Epic history, ain't it?
I wonder how you pronounce that name in the script.
That one,
Yeah.
it should be close to that one.
I'm just mentioning it because of the notes that you put after it.
Yep.
I was just seeing that because it was in bold letters, and then I thought, huh, what does he mean? Then I saw the name,
I
and I
thought
was like,
you could at least try to read it.
yeah, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not trying that either. No,
Uh,
you know, a few years ago there was a Icelandic volcano that broke out, and the name is like uh, half of a paragraph in news because it's so long, and I don't even try saying that long name in that font. I mean, never mind. So yeah, reading that was kind of bringing back memories to that. I was like, yeah, nah, no matter what, we're definitely ripping that apart. We will definitely not be able to say it the right way.
yep. And as I mentioned before, I am a little bit for nomadic theory. So, how it's depicted in Russian history, specifically the moment how Rurik came to Russia, well, to Slavic land, who will become the Russian land. Uh, Now I'm going to torture myself. Tales of the tale of bygone years. В лето 6370 и доши заори к морягам, к Руси. Сицы бо звахать ты, воряги Русь, яко се друзі звутся свеє, друзі же урмані, друзі же англяні, іні и готи, тако и си. Ркоша Руси чуть, Словень кривичи и вся. Земля наша велика и обильна, а наряду в ней нет. Да придите, княжить, и володить нами. И избрашься трое братья с роду своими, и пояше по собой вся Русь, и придоша к славяному первую, и срубиша город Ладогу, и седе старший в Ладоге Рюрик, а другий Синеусь в Белозере, и третий Трубарь в Изборсте, и от троих варягов производся земля русская. I know that you didn't understand thing, and I understand at least a little bit. So
If you say
basically,
so.
so basically, in in Ancestors Legacy, we have a picture how two Slavic tribes say fuck you to Scandinavians who live in Ladoga and basically conquer their lands. While one of those tribes used to be in confrontations with each other, constant fighting and whatnot. And one of the tribes was like, yeah, we need additional power to conquer the land. And they send for specifically for Rurik and his brothers. While in our history, it's like we had a little bit troubles with Scandinavians because they used to came and rob us like anybody, like most of the countries that used to be alongside the shores. But there was a moment when Slavic tribes, Finnish tribes, and some Asian tribes who used to live in that general vicinity get together and didn't and crushed the raiders that used to came to the future Russian land. And basically that's how the story ends in it. But because we already got militarized and it's basically not only like only Slavic tribes living in here. Right here in Ladoga living Scandinavians, not the one who was raiding us, but the others that living here for a long time. On the north we have Finnish tribes. Here live at least 3 or 4 Slavic tribes. Right there, a little bit of a Asian tribes. And basically, it's free real estate. Do whatever you want. Yep. And as depicted in our history, elders from all those tribes, including Ladaga as well, got together and decided to summon force from the side. And that force used to be Scandinavians. Specifically, people who we called Rossmann. And those Rossmann came to future Russian land and put an order to the land. But the irony is that people who will become Russians is Slavs. Not Finnish tribes, not Scandinavians that used to live alongside those Slavs, not Asian tribes. It's Slavs. And well, that's how it is. It's not like we were sick and tired of people who lived in Ladoga who used to be just a traders and and who used to be traders and craftsmen. We fought specifically raiders. And after those raiders stopped to came here, and as I said, cultural differences between different tribes. That's how we summoned Horsemen. But there is a little bit different history in that as well. And it's a little bit believable, at least for me. I did mention that Arabs conquered at least south part of Spain, and that conquer closed the only route from Scandinavia to Byzantium.
Mm.
Scandinavians start to look for a different trading route, and that's how it came to be. So from Ladoga to Kiev, it's one of the routes.
Mm-hmm.
Scandinavian Byzantium trading route. And it's basically used to be in common for Scandinavians to do shit like that. Look and Anglo-Sax, for example, came at least one warlord and conquered the land. And basically he used to own the whole trading route.
Okay.
And that Scandinavian is Rurik.
Ah.
Yep. And the whole ruling dynasty, at least from till Ivan the First. First. Yep, Ivan the First is Rurik descendant.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as I did mention Kiev, Kiev used to be a Russian city.
Mm.
And the modern, yep, the modern, what the, how you read wrote Russia in modern way, it's basically a Greek word, at least Russian description. Not Russia, but Россия.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and again, it's a little bit already different history. It's not like Slavs killed every Scandinavian who lived in Ladoga, and then bloodthirsty Vikings just conquered the land just because.
Mm.
It's bloodthirsty Vikings came here to secure the trading route.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense.
Yep. And that's basically how the fuck Russia started. It's already a different story. It's not like, hey, came to Russia. I want to make some kind of revenge to a different Slavic tribe. Okay,
Well,
it's
was
already
fine.
something that, yeah, it's already something that makes sense. It's already something that explain why he and his brothers actually appeared here. It's already makes sense why he took an army with him.
Mm.
They didn't came here to pillage. They came here to conquer and put an order.
Mm. To make sure stuff is going their way.
Yep. And basically, because he was a ruler of the trading route, and caravan which go from Scandinavia to Byzantium gave him money.
Yeah. It's always
And that makes sense.
it's always the money.
And just a little bit about culture. Um, like the Arabs used to be a little bit poor. And Ireland back then, specifically 9th century, for Slavic tribe used to be a little bit expensive. You can open this link. We mostly have access, and those used to be not just specifically battle access. It used it used to be sort of battle access.
Mm-hmm. What does the sort of battle axe mean?
We didn't. And I mention it because in game Ancestors Legacy, Slavs, specifically Slavs that will become Russians, have not only swords, but they have a fucking carved swords.
Mm-hmm.
Something that will not appear in Russia at least for 200 or 300 years since Russia became. We used to use these motherfuckers.
Yeah, those forms look painful and
And those
effective.
things not specifically battle axes. Whatever axe you had it was your battle axe.
Mm.
So it's most of them is basically just a access to cut trees and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a bit
Battle
like
axes came to Russia with to future Russia with Vikings.
mm, it's a bit like the kusarigama from Japan, which is based on the farmer's sickle from working on the fields, but then they kind of repurposed it to make it a weapon. So
You know,
it's
this thing might have the same origin because uh, before Slavic tribe appears, mm, our ancestors used to live next to the Roman Empire. Uh, what name? Skiffs. I
mhm,
think we came from Skiffs. Skiffs used to be live next to East Roman Empire, basically Byzantium, and they took a lot of technology from them. From Byzantium, those technology got through the West through Arabs and whatnot. So yeah, who knows who make the first stick, metal stick to work on the land, but our definitely based on Roman one.
mhm,
And speaking of skiffs, because I already mentioned them, skiff used to have same ancestors as Germans, Germanic tribes.
mm,
Then this common ancestor got separated. One became Germanics and one stayed Skiffs. Then Skiffs turned into Proto-Slavic, and Proto-Slavic definitely in Slavic, and okay, I have no idea why I just mentioned it. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a interesting topic when we're going to talk about World War II.
yeah, I guess so.
Common ancestors, fuck me. And I have two, basically two questions to creators of Ancestors Legacy. Why the fuck creating your own history in a way that, yeah, both brothers betrayed Rurik wasn't an older brother, and Rurik came here. to, well, basically to participate in a fight, but stay for the land when it's already has basically a good story to tell.
Yeah, I'm just.
How Vikings came here to secure a freaking trade route. Plus, the game mentioning the fictional character Vidar. Vidar is basically a player control character. He is a priest of Odin and basically most loyal Rurik companion.
Mm.
Even though Rurik has his two brothers, and if we're going to remember Russian history, once one person who used to be with Rurik as well and used to be a regent next to his son who, well, basically a newborn when Rurik died.
Here in the game description it says historically accurate strategy game um, that's influenced by historical events from the Middle Ages. So it is inspired and accurate when it comes to certain things, but not 100% accurate about the stuff that you actually play.
I can understand that in a way that, yeah, okay, drawing the different type of armor for Slavic unit from Russia and from Slavic unit from Poland is a little bit off the chart. But again, I can understand the Vidar as a player avatar because he's basically our narrator. He's gave us an introduction of the characters and events that occurred. But at the same time, it makes no sense why Rurik even stay in Russia.
Yeah,
It makes no sense.
Vida is a god of the god race of Essen. So
Hmm.
that's who it is.
That's also strange. Hmm. Used to maybe it used to be no, it wasn't a common practice to
Vida
call
called
you.
called the silent one or something like that.
In the game, he's blind.
Oh, he's blind. Okay.
Yep.
Um, he's he's
Ah,
he's the son of Odin and um, the giant grid.
older.
Uh, and he killed Fenrir. Hmm.
Yep, definitely older. Yeah. Again, it's not really it wasn't really common to call your children in the name of gods.
Nah, yeah, I guess not.
Well, at least it wasn't common in Russia.
Hmm. No idea about the North, basically.
You share the beliefs. You share the beliefs.
Not
ancient
me.
Germanic empires actually shared the beliefs, and God actually is from Scandinavia. So did I
Next topic,
talk
religion
about?
on this channel. Nah,
Maybe someday.
nah, better not.
Yeah, definitely not.
I will have some
Definitely.
discussions in the future when it comes to religion and atheism. I already know
Better
that.
not. At least not on this channel.
No, private related.
And the problem is with stuff that I found that we must jump from basically foundation of Russia to World War One Russia, specifically after World War One.
Do it.
And the reason is I didn't play a lot of games that depicted the period in between.
Hmm.
Yes, you can mention stuff like Victoria 2, Crusader Kings 3, and Europe Universalis, but those games basically are now history games, and shenanigans in those games is just a common word. Well, it's not like every game is 100% historically accurate.
Yeah.
So I can't be going like this didn't happen, this didn't happen. I have a question to this one. That what they said, and that's how it was.
Hmm.
I don't have a foundation for that. Those games is basically made to provoke some kind of power fantasy or just do dumb stuff like capturing the Pope and eating him.
Hmm.
Or making your horse immortal.
Yeah. When it comes to logic in games, sometimes.
Uh, and the problem is with that period of time that I didn't really spend a lot of time with Iron Harvest. Oh, God damn it. I can tell at least something that I had a problem with. Did you know that Poland used to be in Russian Empire?
Not really.
So yeah, it used to be in Russian Empire. After
I mean the world,
Речь Посполитой... Yep.
the European map and the world map looks much different than it looks today. Same
Yep.
for same
For
for
example, we don't have Holy Roman Empire.
yeah, that and Germany in quotes, which wasn't really Germany back then, but used to be so much bigger. It was huge, and then yeah, idiots happened.
Also, Prussia
Yeah,
existed.
it looked different. It looked so different back then.
So yeah, Poland used to be a part of Russian Empire, and it happened after Rzesz Pospolita, Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth was destroyed basically by Germans, Russians, and Ukrainians at the time Zaporozhye. And they used to be a part of Russian Empire till the World War One, when Germany occupied Poland and then Allies granted Poland an independence. Well, granted in a way they took a lot of land from Germany and gave it to Poland. Also, partially Ukrainian and Belarusian land.
Mm.
So, what do we have in Iron Harvest? Alt history, I get it. I know that I should not talk about this stuff too much, but it's basically was the, before invention of giant killing robots. I mean, in the game, it has slightly similar path with our world. So, as how I putting this in timeline, Poland used to be a part of Russian Empire. So what happened in Iron Harvest? Polish nationalists picked the started the war against their past suzerain and lost it, and it was occupied.
Mm.
Well, occupied. Basically, Poland returned to Russia.
Mm.
And for some reason, Polish separatists don't like being the part of Russia again.
I wonder why.
Yep. And again, Poland, country that a little bit small. It's not the smallest country. It's basically a middle-sized country. But they picked the fight with the Russian Empire.
Russia is what? 10, 12 times bigger?
Something like that.
It's like, and
Yeah, it's like they were begging for to get back in Russia.
yeah.
And because first campaign is a Polish campaign, you basically trying to liberate Poland, that not named Poland, from Russia, that not named as Russia. And Germany somehow it gets involved in this. And everybody beating Poland.
Always the Germans.
I basically have nothing more to say about this company besides that middle-sized country with no allies decided to fight against their previous suzerain in the name of they want to fight against us. We don't know that for sure, but we know they will attack us.
Yeah, it is set in the alternate reality of 1920 plus.
Yep, and there also was a thing that I wanted to talk about, but I choose to play Ancestor's Legacy instead. They released not so long ago Roosevelt Revolution, basically a socialist about DLC about socialist revolution in Russia. I didn't play it and I didn't watch any videos about that, but I think it's for the best. I hope that if I watch that thing, it would be like, hey, what the fuck is that? Why did you depicting Dzerzhinsky like that? Why did you depicting uh, our king like that? Why did you depict it, anything like that? What was the spark for revolution? Why it happened? What revolutionary movement want? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, it got mixed reviews.
let's just say Iron Harvest not as warmly depicted as well.
Mm.
That it's already so beautiful in the history. Again, as I said to you, Poland decided to fight against Russia for a reason we think they want to attack us. It's already beautiful enough.
Yeah, attack is the best defense, right?
Yep.
Hey, I think that,
And
those people looked funny.
yeah, we think those 116 million people looked at us funny.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, were they whispering behind their backs bad about us? They called us assholes. No.
Uh, it's not like I'm against Polish na- national self-depiction. It's not like I'm against any nation, national self-depiction or independence from bigger crown like French crown, English crown, or Spanish crown. It's not like I'm against that.
Mm.
It's just in a way that we've got independence from them. Let's immediately attack them. And in the game, just it's just the moment. It just implied that the world has similar history to our world.
Mm.
It's implied that Poland used to be under Russian command.
All right.
Again, I'm not against wanting independence at all, but picking your firearms and getting you back under the crown is a little bit a stupid movement. And specifically, I'm saying that it is stupid because in this game, it's not communist Russia at the moment, and it's not Nazi Germany. It's it's Kaiser Germany and Empire of Russia.
Mm. The Kaiserreich.
Yep. I'm not sure. I didn't play long enough to see was it Reich or not.
Yeah, I mean that was the term back then. It
What
was
Reich even means?
Reich. It's like, how do you translate that? Like empire?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's one
Hang
country.
on. Why the fuck is Third Reich then?
The next better evolution, I guess.
Because I know that if we're going to speak about empires, if we're starting the counting from the Rome, first Rome is basically Rome. The second Rome is I don't remember where it was, but it was somewhere in the Holy Roman Empire. No, second Rome is Byzantium, Constantinople, and the third Rome is Moscow. And if we're going to
Yeah,
by
you
the
can.
logic that Third Reich is basically Third Rome, then it's already a little bit too late to call yourself Third Reich because Russian called the same Third Rome a little bit earlier in 15th or 16th century.
I don't. I mean, yeah, Reich means empire, so it was the third empire. I don't know why. I have no idea what the idea behind that was. They also called it the 1,000 year um, long empire and stuff like that.
Yep, I've heard that. Oh,
They also used um, a lot of symbols from Norse mythology and a lot of occult stuff and a lot of shit. They tried everything to be the master race basically. So
yep. And one atheistic country got to Berlin.
yeah, I mean that the reason for the Aryan race is also kinda based on northern um countries, I guess. Blonde, tall, blue eyes. You normally have that in North countries, in Scandinavian countries.
And
Yeah.
we have that.
Yeah, and you're not from a Scandinavian country. You might have Scandinavian ancestors, maybe, but that's long time ago. So,
We even shared ancestors before Germanics got separated from us.
well, I'm tall. I have blue eyes. I have dark blonde hair.
Yeah, and I'm tall and I have around dark hair and dark eyes.
What are you doing in my studio?
I'm sorry.
Nah.
Yeah, so basically, by that, with that highlight of the stream, we're going to into dark time of the history.
Even darker.
Yep, World War II. And yeah, basically a little bit of a break. You know what I mean.
Yep.
I could not commemorate the Great October.
Oh, wait, what? You want me to play that video now?
Yep.
Okay. Wait. I think that's easier to grab this. Oh wait, I think I muted it. Oh,
Es ist so weit
that's loud.
und haben den Kerensky davon gejagt und die Vergangenheit und da.
Alright, let me start this from the beginning. And I'm gonna grab something fresh to drink because that's not fresh anymore. And this runs for 2.5 minutes. So I will be right
Yep.
back. And let me maybe reposition that a little bit.
Can you put us from the screen then?
I can just put that in front of us.
Yep.
That was, wait. Oh yeah, I'm still display capturing. Alright, never mind. Yeah, something like that. Alright, I will be right back.
Don't forget to turn on the captcha.
gesagt und die Bauern, es ist soweit. Und haben den Kerensky davon gejagt und die Vergangenheit. Und das war im Oktober, als das so war. In Petrograd in Russland im 17er Jahr.
Da hat der Soldat das Gewehr umgewandt, da wurde er wieder Prolet, worauf sehr schnell vom Krieg abstand die Generalität.
Und das war im Oktober, als das so war. In Petrograd in Russland im 17er Jahr.
Da hatte der Muschik den Bauch nicht voll und da las er dann ein Dekret, dass der das Korn jetzt fressen soll, der auch das Korn abmäht.
Und das war im Oktober, als das so war. In Petrograd in Russland im 17er Jahr.
Die Herren haben durchs Monokel geguckt und haben die Welt regiert. Und ehe ein Matrose in die Neva spuckt, waren sie expropriiert.
Und das war im Oktober, als das so war. In Petrograd in Russland im 17er Jahr. Und wer dies Lied euch singen tat, lebt in einer neuen Welt. Der Kumpel, der Muschik, der rote Soldat, haben die euch hingestellt. Und das war im Oktober, als das so war. In Petrograd in Russland im 17er Jahr.
Ja. Alright. October Revolution. That was German. From an East German band,
Yeah.
which you can see here. That's the East German flag.
The period of history that that some people trying to put in dark colors, like nothing good was from it.
Yeah. I mean, every war as bad as a war is, but technology is developed for wars and stuff, and we continue to use that afterwards. So,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, most technology that was used in a war was not even meant to be used as a weapon to begin with. So,
Yeah, I can basically see that. Specifically, some technology. Well, in Soviet Union, we used to prepare to war. We knew that we will start the war either against the Germany or against the Allies. We did not just waited for them to come to us. We tried to get ourselves ready.
yeah,
Because of that, T-34 was developed basically before the war.
yeah, I think most
And
most countries are prepared just to protect themselves.
most countries. And if we're talking about Soviet space program, it basically was born from development that was made during the creation of liquid fuel rockets.
Mm.
For fuck's sake, it has the same constructor.
Yeah. And Russia just wanted to be the first in space. Just to put a flag everywhere.
Hey,
It's
if you're going
us.
to look, if you're going to look at the results of a space race, first object in the space, Soviet Union. First first animal in the space, Soviet Union. First man in the space, Soviet Union. First woman in the space, Soviet Union. First man on the moon, USA. The winner of the space race, USA.
Hmm. Well, they were like at one
Yeah.
point they were like, you know what? Let's give it. Let's give that to them. We put our flag on the freaking moon. The moon will be United States property. So they were just they were just faster filming it. I mean landing on the moon.
I definitely believe that they landed on the moon.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I was just joking.
Yeah,
Because
okay, you
yeah,
sometimes can tell.
that's a whole different. We can do hours of streams just talking about conspiracies and stuff. I was actually thinking about doing something like that on YouTube, streaming it on YouTube. Like, I don't know, watching some videos of flat earthers and some other morons.
Let's do it then. Why not?
Anyway,
At
different
least
topic.
I'm going to be at use for more than just once and once. I need practice with speaking English, spoken English.
Yeah, no problem. All right, should we continue? We're kind of getting off track here,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
I said World War II. And because we're talking specifically about Russian history, I could not go. I could not pick any other better topic than Company of Heroes 2. I'm so excited. Ah, that concentrated anti-Soviet speech, that concentrated Russophobia, that concentrated lie on lie. Oh, don't remember that I've seen that much hate towards Russians in years. For better understanding what I'm going to talk about, I can put a link on uh, one Russian YouTuber who made a video about that game a long time ago. Uh,
do it.
and I'm going to, before I'm starting, I'm going to say one thing that is basically Russian saying. Anti-Soviet, always Russophobic. Where it is, where it is. Yep, there it is. That's the video that I'm basically.
Oh, here.
Yep, I put it in the chat. That's the video that if you want to know more about why Relic write about one aspect or another, you basically should watch that.
Yeah.
If you want to know a much better analysis, I didn't saw one in English language, and therefore you're stuck with me. Uh, so, what's history we have in Company of Heroes? Definitely the game started in working camp. Where else the game about Soviet Union can start?
Nevertheless, I will tell you.
No, it's actually a genuine question.
Full of shit. How really
Yeah,
Can you think about a better place?
I mean that's basically the cliche you kinda expect or know in the West at
Yeah,
least.
and I'm going to mention Saving Private Ryan. It started at Cemetery of World War II veterans.
Yeah.
There it was depicted as something heroic. Here we already have a depiction that whatever you do in Soviet Union, you will end up in Gulag.
Mm.
And allegedly, as Dr. Joseph Goebbels used to tell, if you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it. But the strange thing is that the quotation of this line used to be taken from publication related to various aspects of communism printed in United States of America, written by House of Congress, Committee of Un-American Activities, Washington, D.C., 1946. Therefore, either Americans still used Nazi propaganda against, right now, Russians, or America created this line, gave it to Dr. Goebbels, even though I don't want to put anything like, hey, maybe he didn't say that. I'm Russian. I cannot put anything good towards any Nazi scum.
Me neither.
Yep. Okay.
They were
But
assholes. They still are.
yeah.
So
But it's definitely might be the way that America invented this lie. This line, and like Goebbels said that, we're just using it. And either way, it's wrong.
yeah, I don't know. But
So,
it's
yeah,
basically
okay.
a lot of politicians still have that line in their head, I think. And I think Trump was trying the same. I mean, he was lying over 30,000 times or something like that.
He is lying for over 30,000 times, but Biden already saying the line that was told before him 1 million times.
Yeah, but still, people still didn't believe everything. I mean, some did believe what Trump was saying, but
Yep.
it's not always
Eh,
working.
he's a politics.
Nah,
He's a politician. He should lie.
he's an actor. Not even
Yep.
that.
He's a bad actor, but he's still an actor.
Yeah, they want to
He at
remake.
least better actor than Zelensky.
I read something or I heard something about Kevin Home Alone. They
Mhm.
want to remake that scene where Trump is in the movie or something like that, or cut it,
Why?
just not to be associated with Trump, just to get rid of Trump in the movie, because he
I
is.
guess. Okay.
Anyway, let's
So
move on because we're already 2 hours in, and I think
we still have at least 2 hours. Okay, so who do you think the main antagonist of a game about World War II, which depicting how Soviets used to fight? Try to guess who's the main antagonist in this game.
Yeah, it's either Russian or German.
It's Soviet Union.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's basically Russian. And the game about Russia, well, Soviet Union, depicting same Soviet Union as the main antagonist.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah, and trying to sell that game also in Russia. That's making a lot of fucking sense.
Yep.
And again, as I said, we're starting in Soviet working camp, where our how should I put that? Most liberal of all liberals in Soviet Union. Soviet Union used to be a liberal country. That was the first country that gave the equal rights to women as a man.
Yeah, and now it's also a country that's not having any time changes in winter and summer anymore. Germany, just saying. World. There are a handful of
Okay,
countries. But yeah.
yeah. The most liberal of all liberals, the most trustworthy of all Soviet people, the most humane person in the whole game, Lion Abramovich Isakovich. I'm going to tell you one thing. They've written his name wrong because it's not written in a canonical way. It should be written Abramovich Lion Isakovich.
Hmm.
He should be his surname should be either first or the last. Either Lion Isakovich Abramovich or Abramovich Lion Isakovich. Not the way when surname in the middle. It's not the way how it's done.
I wouldn't know.
You don't know, but I know.
Yeah.
So, how do you think? What our most trustworthy protagonist did to deserve his place in worker camp,
I don't
in
know.
forced labor camp?
Don't ask me questions.
Try to guess. Try to think as primitively as possible. I already gave you his description. What is most trustworthy, most liberal, most mm, person who loved truth the most t- did to deserve his place in forced worker camp?
I have no idea.
Well, he wrote down in his diary truth.
Truth.
His yeah, truth. He wrote down in his diary the truth, how Russian people used to fight in the. I'm sorry, Soviet people used to fight that war. And we're going to start with the first mission, Stalingrad. I told you about the movie Enemy at the Gate, didn't I?
Yep.
And I already told you, but I'm going to repeat that movie Enemy at the Gate banned in Russia because of depiction of Soviet people and basically it's one big insult to Russian history. It's one big insult in Russian history and specifically to Vasily Zaitsev, who is a protagonist of the movie Enemy at the Gate. You have unarmed soldiers who is transported through in the middle of the day under Germans' fire. Those soldiers doesn't have weapons, and when they getting weapons, one soldier getting weapon, Mosin rifle, and the one soldier is getting the bullets for that rifle. How can how you can even try to explain this? Why one soldiers got the rifle and the other the bullets for those rifles? What the point? Why you even sending the people without the guns? Why are you sending the people without the briefing? What they should do? How they will be doing this? Why are you sending people without even showing them this person is your commander. This person is his commander. This is a red commissar. Why nothing like that even exists in that movie and basically in that game? What the point putting a lot of unarmed men are under German's fire?
Collateral damage. Distraction.
But yeah,
It's stupid, I know.
yeah, Russia has an unlimited manpower. Sure, let's send an undead horde on them.
Yeah, exactly. The unarmed horde.
And yeah, German have a limited number of bullets, and we have unlimited number of men.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we have
Patriotism.
you cannot shoot all of us.
Yep. And with all those dead Russian soldiers, our alive Russian soldiers can make a cover with their bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. Company of the Hero Company of the Heroes 2 technically similar to Company of the Heroes 1. It's not the story with Dawn of War, where Dawn of War 1 is real-time strategy and Dawn of War 2 is some kind of circus with heroes. So the main point of this mission in installing Red in Company of Heroes 2 is to get through the choke point, and the choke point is basically covered by 2 or 3 Germans machine guns.
Mhm.
Red Commissars just saying, go, we don't care that it's a choke point, we don't care the 2 or 3 machine guns. You're Russian soldiers, you must die. And only the main, only protagonist using his brain and his officer authority saying to his squads, let's go outside. And then, and that's what they did. There is a freaking big hole in the wall where you can get your troops in, and those troops basically will end up in behind Germans' machine guns. And yeah, choke point is free. A lot of dead Russians for no reason whatsoever. And right now we have red commissars who basically congratulating themselves with a successful operation.
Mm.
Again, I wonder why. We get with that note, we're getting to the second mission. Second mission, brilliant, a fucking brilliant. Second mission starts with actually one more question. Do you know what NKVD is? People Commissariat of Internal Affairs.
Mhm.
Do you know what this means?
Internal affairs, yeah.
No, what NKVD means, what they were doing.
I guess not.
Well, try to guess. Red Commissars is NKVD officers.
I have no idea. Don't ask me so many questions. I'm not in school here.
I told you this is going to be in the test.
Yeah, I'm bad at stuff like that.
So, NKVD is Border Patrol, State Police, Fire Department, and Military Police. Not militarized military police.
So basically everything.
Basically everything civil. And Border Patrol.
Nice.
Yep. Well, it's a pre-war time. It's a young country. It has a little bit of a mess still in it, and people just getting to to understanding how things should work. From NKVD, from NKVD will be created a separate fire department, separate militia, basically police, separate counterintelligence, and separate border patrol. Basically, the second mission starts when officer of police declaring that he is becoming a head of military campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking believable.
Yeah, I mean it's a game, right? But yeah, it's something that someone like me wouldn't even know or realize because I don't know the background about stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I know, and that's basically what Relic did. They don't know what NKVD is. All they know that NKVD used to be with the Red Army.
Mm.
Red Commissars is basically NKVD. And why those Red Commissars with militaries? They didn't even know. They didn't even care, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm.
So, what we're doing in the second mission, we are burning the village with Soviet people still in the houses. We didn't even sending soldiers in the house to check if people evacuated or not, or forcibly evacuating people from their houses. We're starting to freaking burning houses while Soviet people still inside the freaking houses.
Yeah, makes sense to kill your own people, right? Doesn't it?
Yes! And we're getting closer to Order 227. Specifically, translation of the Order 227. What it actually said. and not what it said in the brain of some American propagandist or German propagandist.
Uh,
And after we burned those houses, several houses with Soviet people in them, we're getting the order from our NKVD officer to burn the field with Red Army soldiers in it. I'm sorry. I thought Germany at this time getting kinda close to Moscow. The order is to hold them as furiously as possible. How you can hold the Germans when your freaking soldiers burning with the freaking Germans?
mm. Yeah, yeah, I have no idea. Makes no sense, really.
And again, Alex calling this a freaking true, most truthful truth that you ever heard. You can see how much is true. My ass is so hot that you can basically fry an egg with it.
Oh, oh, my back. Oh my god. When I laugh like that, my back hurts so bad. Oh my god. Oh.
Ah,
Oh.
oh yeah, I actually forgot to. Did I forgot to mention? Yeah, no, I actually mentioned one rifle and for two soldiers. Never mind.
Yeah,
Ah,
you mentioned that, yeah. It doesn't it make sense to be the one to have the bullets? I mean, you can still throw them. Same with the rifle, you can just hit somebody because if the guy with the ammo is dead behind you and you don't realize until you're kind of on the front and you're like, "Hey, give me some okay.
enemy at the
Wait."
gate put it like this. One soldier getting the rifle, the other soldier will get the ammo. One soldier with the rifle will be killed by the German. Soldier with the rifle will take that rifle and charge with rifle and bullets. Genius! Freaking genius! I can upload to the motherfucker who wrote this.
Yeah, and the
First
rifles.
in Enemy at the Gate, second in Call of Duty 1 to yeah, basically 1 and 2, and third to genius who wrote this in the script of Company of Heroes 2.
Yeah, I mean, and as we all know, weapons back then had huge magazines with like 200 bullets in them, and so it didn't matter. You could just kill for hours until you needed the ammo from the guy back there. Do I need a
Yeah,
sign where it says sarcasm or something? Or sarcasm bell or something like ding 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 ding?
well, we basically can have this one big red sarcasm, specifically because it's used quite a lot when
Yeah,
we're talking.
Kappa. But hey, I see that we still have a bunch of text in that script here. And I don't think that we're getting through in the next hour with that, because there's
Uh,
a bunch of
we
games we wanted to talk about. What do you think about splitting this in two parts and do the second part next week?
Why not? But let's finish. Let's have a logical finish with Order 227. Order No Step Back. And basically, it has its placement right here because the third mission of Company of Heroes is when Order No Step Back is introduced.
Do you have a link for me?
Uh, Scroll a little bit down. And while you're scrolling, I'm going to tell how this order is depicted in the game, and basically in modern media, including Russian media. How this depicted in the game? Creation thing a what was the name? Barrier troop. End of the page 4.
Yeah, I see that.
Creating a barrier troop with several machine guns and shoot on place everyone who will either not attack into suicidal mission or anyone who retreating. And what soldiers are talking about and their commander basically our count that it's too bad that this order is in place and they must actually fight for Mother Russia. Poor Soviet soldiers who wanted to drop everything and run like a cowards. Because next time we're going to talk about a little bit General Plan Ost and why running away from the battlefield was not an option for Russian soldiers.
Yep.
Again, Soviet soldiers. Triton, can you read that Bloodthirsty Order 227 and who wrote this order?
You mean the part that you marked here?
Yeah, the highlighted part. The highlighted part. It's basically my translation of that order.
Okay. From the enemy sends more and more.
Yep, it's
Okay.
basically how it started.
Okay, so the enemy sends more and more of his troops to us. He doesn't care about heavy casualties. He is trying to push further into the Soviet Union, destroying cities and villages, pillaging, raping, killing Soviet people. Our people love and trust the Red Army, but they are starting to lose their faith, while our troops flee further east. Some not so smart people are saying that we can retreat without hesitation, like we have unlimited land, manpower, and bread. For them, it's only the way to justify their cowardness and failures. Every soldier, officer, and commissar should remember that Soviet Union resources ain't limitless. The territory of the Soviet Union ain't desert, and its people is our worker, farmers, intellectual, fathers, mothers, wives, brothers, kids with our land. We lost more than 70 million people, more than 11 billion tons of bread per year, and 10 million tons of metal per year. Therefore, we must stop any talks that we can retreat as much as we like. No step back without an order from the High Command. People's people of what People's
People's
Commissar
Commissar of Defense.
Defense, Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin.
Yeah, I depicted the German pronunciations because it's Iosif.
Ah, okay. I mean, yeah, I didn't know his second name actually. I think that's the first time I
We
see that.
have no second names. We have our names, surnames, and father name. Basically, my father name is Sasha, Alexander. Therefore, I'm Alexandrovich.
Ah,
His name his father name was Vissarion. Therefore, he's Vissarionovich.
ah. Okay, okay, I get that concept.
Yep. Basically, in our names, it's not only how we called, it's not only our family name, it's also basically the name of long dead ancestor. It's also a name of our recent ancestor, basically the father.
Mm.
It's the same for women and men.
So the son of Stalin would have been Stalinovich.
No, son of Stalin would be Iosifovich.
Ah, okay, okay. Interesting.
Stalin is a surname,
Yeah,
and
okay.
even though people saying that Stalin is pseudonym, it's not. Unlike Lenin, Stalin ain't a pseudonym. Stalin is a direct translation of his original surname.
Mm-hmm.
His original surname is Jubashvili, and Juba in Georgian is steel. Juba, steel, сталь.
Ah,
Yep. So
okay.
his surname is a Russian translation of his original surname.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Huh. History with Lothar. Definitely interesting, and yeah, we already expected it to be longer, but definitely longer than I thought it would be. But I guess the next stream will be basically around the same time. But yeah, seeing that we're already
Unfortunately.
at 2.5 hours and we didn't even scratch the games that are down in the script yet, so that's enough for over 2 hours next week. So I would say we
And
make
we're
this.
still not finished with this one. And we're going to return to World War II period with a return. Basically scratch it because I was planning to cover a lot from this part.
Yeah, I think
Basically, Company of Heroes.
I guess we're gonna one of the first things that we might start with the next time might be that poem.
A little bit, yeah.
Or something like that.
Because, yeah, I'm going to repeat the stuff that our cowards and comrade, the kind who used to lead them
Mm,
was in trouble because of Order 227 No Step Back. We're going to talk about General Plan Ost, and we have two quotes from books like Poland under Nazi occupation and Revisiting the National Socialist Legacy. Basically explaining why retreating from the battlefield was not an option for a Soviet soldier. And I'm going to talk about barrier troops, what it was like. I'm going to talk about a little bit of General Moroz. And we're going to move along after that.
yeah, sounds like a plan. So yeah, if you don't have any plans next week, I don't work in the afternoon next week, so
Nah, I think I'll make it free.
yeah, you check the time, but if that would work for you, we will announce it officially. But if it will work, will be March the 4th actually,
Yeah, we can do it.
and I will do a giveaway next time.
And the next topic after that, I think we should take an opinion topic because collecting info about all this stuff, trying to trying to read that old Slavic, ancient Russian, and whatnot. Basically, took a lot from me. Finding an info about monsters from Witcher series, how it was depicted in Russian history, and even though that we talked for 2 hours and 30 minutes, it's basically just scratching the tip of an iceberg.
Yeah, definitely. I have an idea for one or two topics as well for the near future.
Yeah,
But
again, if they're opinion pieces, then sure, why not? It's definitely going to be a lot easier to prepare.
mm. Well, okay, then let's figure out that the next stream if we do that on Thursday, and then I guess we pick up again from that. Definitely interesting stuff going on here with
Yep,
culture and
and
history.
yep, and we definitely can talk about stuff that you wanted to mention before the stream.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. You know how our streams work and happen. We're like, we think about, will we even get 1.5 hours together? And then we totally never get distracted in our streams, totally on script. And 2.5 hours later, we are halfway through the script, and we're like, hey, well, okay. So yeah, we often,
At least this time we were mostly on script.
yeah, pretty much.
We weren't like, hey, this is completely unrelated or this is completely unrelated. And again, I'm going to repeat in the next stream that Germans and Russian had common ancestors, and we also partially have Nordic blood.
What? No!
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to repeat that, and after that, we're going to discuss general plan Ost.
It's so
That
fun.
would be fitting.
It's so funny to hear that because it's just East. But yeah, Generalplan Ost was, yeah, something from a dark German history. Plan for the East. Let's go East. All right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but that was quite interesting. Definitely different. Oh, and by the way, I heard something about another way to do podcasts and stuff. I have to look into that. You can do live stuff there, and you can also have old stuff there. I have to look into that, but I saw YouTube.
It's definitely not something that we should discuss
Yeah,
right now.
no, it just popped up in my mind because I saw a YouTube video about
Yep.
that and somebody mentioned that. So maybe there will be some changes in that direction. All right, well, that was again pretty interesting. I don't have my end stream here, my end screen linked here. So let's put the end screen here. There we go. And it's not. Why is it? It's just taking. Okay, there we go. It just took away me. My camera was gone, and you're still showing. I was like, what? Hey, hello. All right. Well, Lothar, again, thanks for putting up all the stuff, and yeah, thanks for history lesson today.
It will be in a test.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. God damn it. You know how long that's over. That's almost 30 years ago. God damn it. I'm old now. I'm not writing any freaking tests anymore. Yeah, I would write a test for a job interview maybe, but even then I would be like, "Hey, god damn it, I'm old." Live with it. All right, Lothar. You have a good night because it's almost midnight for you,
So,
right?
no famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words.
Fuck Epic by Game Song of.
Okay. Lothar, you have a good one, and yeah, looked really good with the lighting and green screen, and we're getting more professional with every stream, and longer every time. I think we have to start an hour earlier soon if we continue with those topics. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, the only thing I need is OBS and streaming.
yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna happen one day, sooner or later. you're just doing political talks on your end. Just your face in the middle of the stream, something in the background, and then just
They put the chemicals in the water.
pro-Russian pro-Russian political streams.
Yep.
Yeah, next thing
They
we
don't put any chemicals into Russian vaccine. You once dancing Kazachok or drinking vodka as water if
yeah
you're going to take it.
next thing we see on stream, or next stuff we hear is first sirens, then a knocking on the door, then a breaking of the door, and then the KGB turning off the stream or something like that. Bye,
They
Lothar.
won't do that if you're going to step out.
It's not you're not getting swatted in Russia. You're getting KGB. Oh boy. All right.
They will do nothing to you if I'm going to do the thing that I showed you.
All right, Lothar. You have a good one. Thanks for the
Yep.
stream.
Bye everyone.
Bye, Lothar. Okay, yeah, that was quite interesting. A lot of new stuff, new infos, new history lesson. Oh my god, history. History in school. You know how long that's? Oh my god. It's 26 years ago. Oh my fucking god, I'm old. Okay, anyway. Um, again, yeah, we have to split this because, yeah, it's midnight for Lota, and I think this could have gone on for at least another 2 hours or so, because there's actually also stuff in there that I can talk about. Yeah, we are talking about more games the next time. Um, Normally I would continue to stream, but I don't fully know if Baron is gonna play um, Outriders together with me later. I'm not sure, but Outriders might be the game. If we don't do a multi-stream later, I'm gonna stream more Breath Edge because that was just finished and released in 1.0 yesterday. So definitely playing that more. I played this this morning a few hours ago. Actually about 12, 11, 12 hours ago. Yeah, it's the second stream today for me. So that was really a lot of fun for 2.5 hours and a ton of new content that I really didn't expect that it would be that much already. So even more going on. All right, but that being said, I'm gonna get some shopping done and yeah. That was number 19 of the Digital Homicides Steam group discussional stream thingy podcast something something. All right, that being said, I should be back in about 2.5 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, depending on the work schedule of Baron. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out and yeah, come back later. Time zone appropriate greetings, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.